New Orleans. They call the rising sun. And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's all drunk.
I guess it must be pretty late and you're tired.
How will you get home?
I'll walk over to Bourbon and catch an owl car.
Was that streetcar named Desire still grinding along the tracks at this hour?
I'm afraid you haven't had much fun out of this evening, Blanche.
Well, I spoiled it for you.
No, you didn't. But all the time, I felt like I wasn't giving you much entertainment.
Well, I simply wasn't able to rise to the occasion, that was all. I don't think I've ever tried so hard to be gay and made such a dismal mess of it.
Why did you try if you didn't feel like it, Blanche?
I was just obeying the law of nature.
Which law is that?
The one that says the lady must entertain the gentleman or no dice. Honey, see if you can locate my door key in this purse. When I'm so tired, my fingers are all thumbs.
This it?
No, that's the key to my suitcase, which I must soon be packing.
You mean you're leaving pretty soon now?
I've outstayed my welcome.
This it?
Oh, Eureka, honey. You open the door while I take one last look at the sky. I'm looking for the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. But these girls are not out tonight. Oh, yes, they are. There they are. Oh, God bless them. All in a bunch. Going home from girls' night. Did you get the door open? Good boy. I guess you want to be going?
Can I, kiss you? Good night.
Why do you always ask me if you may?
I don't know whether you want me to or not.
Why should you be so doubtful?
That night, when we parked by the lake, and I kissed you
Oh,
at many...
honey, it wasn't the kiss I objected to. I liked the kiss very much. It was the other little familiarity that I felt obliged to discourage. I didn't resent it, not a bit in the world. In fact, I was somewhat flattered that you desired me. But you know as well as I do that a single girl, a girl all alone in the world, has got to keep a firm hold on her emotions or she'll be lost.
Lost?
I guess you're used to the kind of girls that like to be lost. The kind that get lost immediately on the first date.
I like you to be exactly the way that you are, because in all my experience, I have never known anyone like you. Are you laughing at me?
Oh, no. No, honey, I'm not laughing at you. Oh, well. The lord and lady of the house have not returned yet, so come in. We'll have a nightcap. But let's leave the lights off, shall we? The other room's more comfortable. Go on in. Oh, this crashing around in the dark is just my search for some liquor.
You want a drink?
I want you to have a drink. You have been so anxious and solemn all evening, and so have I. We have both been anxious anxious and solemn. And now, for the last few remaining moments of our lives together, I want to create joie de vivre. I'm lighting a candle.
That's good.
Oh, we are going to be very bohemian. We are going to pretend that this is a little artist cafe on the left bank in Paris. Je suis la dame Camélia. Vous êtes Armand. Do you understand French?
No, I don't understand French.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Vous ne comprenez pas? Ah, quel dommage. I mean, it's a damned good thing I found some liquor. Just enough for 2 shots without any dividends.
That's good.
Honey, sit down. Take off your coat. Loosen your collar.
No, I'd better leave it on.
Oh, but I want you to be comfortable.
No. I'm ashamed of the way that I perspire. My shirt is sticking to me.
Perspiration is healthy. If people didn't perspire, they would die in 5 minutes. This is a nice coat. What kind of material is it?
They call that stuff lightweight synthetic.
Oh, lightweight synthetic.
A man with a heavy build has got to be careful of what he puts on him so he don't look too clumsy.
You're not too heavy.
You don't think I am?
You're not the delicate type. You have a massive bone structure and a very imposing physique.
I thank you. Last Christmas, I was given a membership to the New Orleans Athletic Club.
Good.
It was the finest present I ever was given. I work out there now with the weights, and I swim and I stay fit. When I first started, I was soft in the belly, but now my belly is hard. It is so hard that a man could punch me in the belly and it don't hurt me. Go ahead, see? Punch me.
Gracious.
Blanche, guess how much I weigh?
I'd say in the vicinity of 180 pounds.
Oh, no. Guess again.
Not that much?
No, more.
Well, you're a tall man, and you can carry a good deal of weight without looking awkward.
I weigh 207 pounds, and I'm 6 feet 1 1/2 inches tall in my bare feet, without shoes on. And that's what I weigh stripped.
My goodness me. That is awe-inspiring.
My weight is not a very interesting subject to talk about. What's yours?
My weight?
Yes.
You guess.
Let me lift you.
Oh, Samson! All right, go ahead, lift me.
You're light as a feather.
Oh, really, you may release me now.
Huh?
I said, unhand me, sir. Whoa, now, bitch. Just because Stanley and Stella aren't home is no reason you shouldn't behave like a gentleman.
Just give me a slap whenever I step out of bounds.
Well, that won't be necessary. You're a natural gentleman. One of the very few that are left in the world. I don't want you to think I'm severe or old maid school teacherish or anything like that. I guess it's just that I have old-fashioned ideals.
Where's Stanley and Stella tonight?
Well, they went out with Mr. and Mrs. Hubble upstairs.
Where did they go?
I think they were going to see a midnight preview at Lowe's State.
We should all go out together some night.
No, that would not be a good idea.
Why not?
You are an old friend of Stanley's.
We was together in the 241st.
I guess he talks to you frankly.
Sure.
Has he talked to you about me much?
Not much.
The way you say that, I suspect he has.
No, he hasn't said much.
But what he has said, what would you guess his attitude toward me was?
What makes you ask that? Don't you get along with him?
What do you think?
I think he don't understand you.
That is putting it mildly. Oh, if it weren't for Stella about to have a baby, I wouldn't be able to endure things here.
He isn't nice to you?
He is insufferably rude. goes out of his way to offend me.
In what way, Blanche?
Why, in every conceivable way.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Are you?
Well, I just don't see how anybody could be rude to you.
The situation is really pretty frightful. There's no privacy here. All there is these curtains between the rooms, and he stalks through the rooms at night in his underwear, and I have to ask him to close the bathroom door. That kind of commonness isn't necessary. Oh, I bet you're wondering why I don't move out. Well, let me tell you frankly. A school teacher's salary is barely sufficient for her living expenses. Last year I hardly saved a penny, so I came here for the summer. And that's why I have to put up with my sister's husband, and why he has to put up with me. Apparently so much against his wishes. Surely he's told you how much he hates me.
I don't think he hates you.
Oh, he hates me, or why does he insult me? When I first laid eyes on him, I thought to myself, that man is my executioner. That man will destroy me unless...
Blanche.
Yes, honey?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, what?
How old are you?
What do you want to know?
I talked to my mother about you, and she says, how old is Blanche?
You talked to your mother about me?
Yes.
Why?
Because I told her how nice you were and that I liked you.
Were you sincere about that?
You know I was.
Why did your mother want to know my age?
Mother is sick.
I'm sorry to hear it. Badly?
She won't live long, maybe just a couple of months, and she worries it might be because I'm not settled
You
yet.
love her very much, don't you? I think you have a great capacity for devotion. You'll be lonely when she passes on. I understand what that is.
To be lonely?
I loved someone too. And the person I loved, I lost.
Dead? A man?
He was a boy. Just a boy when I was a very young girl. When I was 16, I made the discovery. Love. All at once and much, much too completely. It was like you suddenly turned a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadow. That's how it struck the world to me. But I was unlucky. Deluded. There was something different about the boy. A nervousness, a softness, a tenderness. It wasn't quite like a man's, though he wasn't the least bit effeminate looking. Still, that thing was there. He came to me for help. I didn't know that. I didn't find out anything until after the marriage. After we'd run away and come back, and all I knew was that I had failed him in some mysterious way and couldn't give him the help he needed but couldn't speak of. He was in the quicksands clutching at me, but I wasn't holding him out. I was slipping in with him. I didn't know that. All I knew was that I loved him unendurably, but without being able to help him or help myself. And then I found out, in the worst of all possible ways, by walking into a room which I thought was empty, which wasn't empty but had two people in it, the boy I married and an older man who had been his friend for years. Afterwards, we pretended like nothing had been discovered. Yes, we all drove out to Moon Lake Casino, very drunk and laughing all the way. We danced the Varsuviana. Suddenly, in the middle of the dance, the boy I married broke away from me and ran out of the casino. A few moments later, a shot. I ran out, all did. All ran to gather around this terrible thing at the edge of the lake. I couldn't get near for the crowd. And then someone grabbed my arm and said, "Don't go any closer. Come back here. You don't want to see." See what? And then I heard voices say, "Alan, that the back of his head had been blown away. It was because on the dance floor, unable to stop myself, I'd suddenly said, I know, I saw, you disgust me. And then the searchlight which had been turned on the world was turned off again. And never for a moment since has there been any light brighter than this kitchen candle.
You need somebody. And I need somebody too. Could it be you and me, Blanche?
Sometimes there's God so quickly.
What's all this stuff for?
Stanley, it's Blanche's birthday.
She here?
In the bathroom.
Washing out some things.
Yes.
How long has she been in there?
All afternoon.
Soaking in a hot tub.
I reckon so.
Temperature 100 on the nose. She soaks in a hot tub.
She says it cools her off for the evening.
Oh, you went out and get her cokes, I suppose, and served you Her Majesty in a tub. Sit down here.
Stanley, I've got things to do.
Sit down. You got the dope in your big sister, Stell.
Stop picking on Blanche.
That girl calls me common.
Lately, you've been doing all you can think of to rub her the wrong way. Blanche is sensitive. You've got to remember that her and I grew up under very different circumstances than you did.
Yeah, so I've been told. And told. You know she's feeding us a pack of lies here?
No, I don't.
Well, she has, however, but the cat's out of the bag. I found out some things.
What things?
Things I already suspected.
Sometimes I'm a...
But now I have proof from some of the most reliable sources, which I have checked on.
Yes, Lord. Sometimes I'm almost to the ground. Oh, hello, Stanley. Oh, yes, Lord. Nobody knows.
Some canary bird, huh?
Now tell me, quietly, what you think you found out about my sister.
Lie number one. All this squeamishness she puts on, you should just know the line she's been feeding the Mitch. She thought she'd been no more than kissed by a fellow. You know Sister Blanche is no lily.
What have you heard, and who from?
A supply man down at the plant goes down to Laurel all the time. And he knows all about her. In fact, everybody knows all about her. She is as famous in the town of Laurel as if she was President of the United States. And she is not respected by any party. This supply man stays at a hotel called the Flamingo.
What about the Flamingo?
Well, she stayed there too.
My sister stayed at Bellevue.
This was after the home place slipped through her lily-white fingers. She stayed at the Flamingo, a second-rate hotel with the primary advantage of not interfering in the private social lives of the personalities there. Now, the Flamingo's used to all kinds of goings-on, but even the management of the Flamingo was impressed with Dame Blanche. In fact, they was so impressed, they asked her to turn her room key in for permanently. This happened a couple weeks before she showed up here. Hey. Sure. I can see how this might upset you. She pulled the wool over your eyes just as much as me.
There's not a word of truth in it. It's pure invention.
Hey, I told you, I checked on all these stories, okay?
Oh, yeah.
The problem with Dame Blanche is she couldn't put on her act anymore in Laurel. They got wised up after 2, 3 dates and they quit. Meanwhile, she goes on to the next one. The same old act, the same old line, the same old hooey. But the town was too small for this to go on forever. And eventually she became known as the town character. Regarded as not just different, but downright loco. Nuts.
Nobody knows.
For the last 2 or 3 years, she's been washed up like poison.
Nobody
That's why she's here this summer, you know? Visiting royalty, putting on all this act. She was basically asked by the mayor to get out of town. Yeah. You know there's an army camp outside of Laurel, and your sister's was one of those places called Out of Bounds? Well, so much for her being such a refined and particular type of girl. Which brings us to line number 2.
I don't want to hear any more about
She
this.
didn't resign temporarily because of her nerves. No siree Bob, she didn't. She got kicked out before the spring term even ended.
Oh, yes.
I hate to tell you the reason that step had to be taken.
Nobody
A 17-year-old boy she'd gotten mixed up with. And then when the boy's dad found out about it and got in touch with the high school superintendent,
Oh, this is making me sick.
I would have loved to have been in that office when Dame Blanche got called on the carpet. I would have loved to see her try to squirm out of that one. They had her hooked good and proper, and she knew the jig was up. Told her she better find some fresh territory. It was practically a town ordinance passed against her.
Stella!
Yes, Blanche.
Well, give me another bath towel to dry my hair with. I've just washed it.
Yes, Blanche.
What's the matter, honey?
Matter? Why?
You have such a strange expression on your face.
I'm just tired, I guess.
Why don't you take a hot bath as soon as I get out?
How soon will that be, Blanche?
Well, not so terribly long. Possess your soul in patience.
Not my soul, it's my kidneys I'm worried about. Well, what do you think?
I don't believe those stories. And I think your supply man was mean and rotten to tell them. It's possible. Some of the things he said may be partly true.
Oh.
My sister was always flighty.
Yeah. Flighty.
But when she was young, very young, she married a boy who wrote poetry. He was extremely good looking. I don't think Blanche just loved him, but worshipped the ground he walked on, adored him, and thought him too fine to be human. But then she found out.
What?
That this beautiful and talented young man was a homosexual, pretending to be in a marriage. Did your supply man give you that piece of information?
All we discussed was recent history. Must have happened a pretty long time ago.
Yes, it was. Pretty long time ago.
How many candles are you putting on that cake?
I will stop at 25.
Are we expecting company this evening?
I asked Mitch over for cake and ice cream.
I wouldn't be expecting Mitch over tonight.
Why?
Stell. Mitch is a buddy of mine. We're in the same outfit together, two 41st engineers. We work in the same plant, and on the same bowling team.
Stanley Kowalski, did you repeat what that man said about my sister?
You're damn right I did. I'd have that on my conscience the rest of my life. If I knew all that stuff and then my best friend get caught.
Is Mitch through with her?
Well, wouldn't you be?
I said, is Mitch through with her?
No, not exactly through with her, just wise enough.
Stanley, she thought Mitch was going to marry her, and I was hoping so too.
Well, he's not gonna marry her now. Maybe he was, but he's not gonna jump in a tank with a school full of sharks. Blanche! Oh, Blanche! May I please get in my bathroom?
Yes, indeed, sir. Can you hang on just 1 second while I dry?
Having waited 1 hour, I guess 1 second, I'll pass in a hurry.
What'll she do? She hasn't got her job.
You know she's not staying here past Tuesday, right? Just to make sure, I bought her a ticket myself. A bus ticket.
In the first place, Blanche won't go on a bus.
She'll go on a bus and like it.
No, she won't. No, she won't, Stanley.
She'll go! Period. P.S. She'll go. Tuesday.
What will she do? What on earth will she do?
Her future's mapped out for her.
What do you mean?
Hey, canary bird! In touch! Get out of the bathroom!
Oh, I feel so good after my long hot bath. I feel so good and cool and rested.
Do you, Blanche?
Yes, I do. So refreshed. A hot bath and a long cold drink always give me a brand new outlook on life. Something's happened here. What is it?
What? Nothing's happened.
You're lying. Something has. Tell us a joke, Stanley. Tell us a funny story that'll make us laugh. I don't know why we're all so solemn. Is it because I've been stood up by my beau? It's my first time in all my experience with men, and I've had a good deal of all sorts, that I've ever been stood up by anybody. I don't know what to do with it. Tell us a funny little story, Stanley. Something to help us out.
I didn't think you liked my stories, Blanche.
Oh, I like them when they're amusing, but not indecent.
I don't know any refined enough for your taste.
Well, let me tell one then.
Yes, Blanche, you tell one. You used to know lots of good stories.
Well, let me see. I must run through my repertoire. I love parrot stories. Do you all like parrot stories? Well, this one's about the old maid and the parrot. See, this old maid, she had a parrot that cursed the blue streak and knew more vulgar expressions than Mr. Kowalski. The only way to hush the parrot up was to slip the cover back on the cage so he would think it was night and go back to sleep. Well, one morning, the old maid had just taken the cover off the cage for the day when who should she see coming up the front walk but the preacher? Well, the old maid runs back to the parrot, slips the cover back on the cage, and then lets in the preacher. Oh, it's upstairs. Well, anyhow, the parrot was perfectly still then, just as quiet as a mouse, but just as the old maid was asking the preacher how much sugar he wanted in his coffee, the parrot broke the silence with, "God damn, but that was a short day." Apparently, Mr. Kowalski was not amused.
Mr. Kowalski is too busy making a pig of himself to think of anything else. Your face and your hands are disgustingly greasy. Now go wash up and help me clear the table.
That's how I'll clear the table. Don't you ever talk to me like that again. Pig, Polak, disgusting, vulgar, greasy. Those words have been on your tongue And your sister's tongue? Too much around here. You think you are a pair of queens? Remember what Huey Long said? Every man is a king, and I am the king of this house, so don't you forget it. My place is cleared. Want to clear your place?
What happened while I was bathing? What did he tell you, Stella? You're lying. I think he told you something about Mitch and me. I think you know why Mitch didn't come this evening and you won't tell me. I'm going to call him.
Oh, I wouldn't call him.
Oh, yes, I will. I will call him on the phone.
I really wish you wouldn't.
Well, I intend to be given an explanation from someone.
I hope you are pleased with your doings. Never had so much trouble swallowing food in my life. Look at that girl's face in that empty chair.
Hello, Mr. Mitchell, please. Well, I would like to leave a number if I may. 729-9047. Tell him it's important to call. Yes, very important. Thank you.
Stella. It's gonna be all right after she's gone and after you've had a baby. It's gonna be all right between you and me. The way that it was. Remember the way that it was? Those nights we had together? God, honey, it's gonna be sweet. We can make noise in the night again and get the colored lights going. Nobody's sister around the corner to hear us. Steve and Eunice.
All right. Come on in then. Lance?
Yes. Oh, those pretty, pretty candles. Don't burn them, Stella. Oh, you ought to save them for the baby's birthdays. I hope candles glow in his life. And I hope his eyes are like candles. Like two blue candles lighted in a white cake.
What poetry?
I shouldn't have called him.
There's lots of things that could have happened.
There's no excuse for it, Stella. I won't be taken for granted and I don't have to put up with insults.
Hey, Blanche. You know it's hot in here with the steam from the gas.
I told you I was sorry 3 times. I take hot baths for my nerves. Hydrotherapy, they call it. You healthy Pollock without a nerve in your body. Of course you don't know what anxiety feels like.
I am not a Polack. People from Poland are Poles, not Polacks. But what I am is 100% American. Born and raised on the greatest country on earth, and proud as hell of it, so don't ever call me a Polack.
Oh, sure, that's for me. Get your hands off me, Stella.
Come on, Matt.
Look at you with your idiot nose.
You shut up in there! Sorry, Mac, we got a noisy woman on the place. Go on. At Riley's? No, I don't want to bowl at Riley's. I had a little trouble with Riley last week. Hey, I'm the team captain, aren't I? All right, so we're not going to bowl at Riley's. We're going to bowl at the west side of the Gal, okay? Yeah. All right, see you, Mac. Sister Blanche.
ever been so cruel to someone alone as she is.
Delicate piece.
She is. She was. You didn't know Blanche as a girl, but there was nobody as tender and trusting as she was. But it was people like you
Hey.
who abused her and forced her to change. Do you think you're going bowling now?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you're not going bowling.
Let go of me.
Tell me why.
No, let go.
Why did you do this to
Tell
me?
my son, hey! When we met, you and me, you thought I was common. All right, you was, baby. I was common as dirt. You showed me that snapshot of the place with the columns. I tore you down off the columns and how you loved it. Getting those colored lights going. And wasn't we happy together? Wasn't it all okay until she showed you? Huh? And wasn't we happy together? Wasn't it all okay till she showed here hoity-toity, describing me like an ape? Hey. Hey, what is this now? Did I hurt you? What's the matter, baby?
Take me to the hospital.
Who is it, please?
Me. Mitch.
Mitch. Just a minute. Oh, Mitch. You know I really shouldn't let you in after the treatment I've received from you this evening. How utterly uncavalier. But hello, beautiful. My, what a cold shoulder, and such uncouth apparel. Why, you haven't even shaved. But I forgive you because it's such a relief to see you. You stopped that polka tune I had playing in my head. Have you ever had anything caught in your head? No, of course not, you dumb angel puss. You've never had anything awful caught in your head.
Do we have to have that fan on?
No.
I don't like fans.
Oh, let's turn it off then, honey. I'm not partial to them. I don't know what there is to drink. I haven't investigated.
I don't want any of Stan's liquor.
It isn't Stan's. And some things on the premises are actually mine. How's your mother? Isn't your mother well?
Why?
Something's the matter tonight, but never mind that. I won't cross-examine the witness. I'll just pretend I don't notice anything different about you. That music again.
What music?
The polka tune they were playing in that alley. There now. The shot. It always stops after that. Yes. Now it's stopped.
Are you boxed? Out of your mind?
I'll go see what I can find in the way. Oh, excuse me for not being dressed, but I've practically given you up. Have you forgotten your invitation to supper?
I wasn't going to see you anymore.
Wait a minute, I can't hear what you're saying. And you talk so little that when you do say something, I don't want to miss a single syllable of it. What am I looking around here for? Oh, yes, liquor. We have had so much excitement around here this evening that I am boxed out of my mind. Oh, here's something. Oh, Southern Comfort. Oh, what is that, I wonder?
You don't know. It must belong to Stan.
Get your foot off the bed. There's a clean cover on it. Of course, you boys don't notice these things. I have done so much with this place since I've been here.
I bet you have.
Well, you saw it before I came. Look at it now. This room is practically dainty. I want to keep it that way.
Weren't you gonna leave? Pretty soon now?
Oh, I wonder if this ought to be mixed with something. It's sweet. So sweet.
You ought to lay off of his liquor. He says you've been lapping it up all summer like a wildcat.
Well, what a fantastic statement. Fantastic of him to say it, and fantastic of you to repeat it. I won't descend to the levels of such cheap accusations to answer them even. What's in your mind? I see something in your eye.
It's dark in here.
Well, I like the dark. The dark is comforting to me.
I don't think I've ever seen you in the light. And that's a fact.
Is it?
I've never seen you in the afternoon.
Oh, whose fault is that?
You never want to go out in the afternoon.
Mitch, you're at the plant in the afternoon.
Not Sunday afternoon. You never want to go out until after 6, and then it's always someplace that's not lighted much.
Oh, and there's some obscure meaning in all this, and I failed to catch it.
What it means is, I've never had a real good look at you, Blanche. Let's turn on the light in here.
Light? What for?
This one here with the paper thing on it.
Well, what did you do that for?
So I can take a look at you. Good and plain.
Of course you don't really mean to be insulting.
No, just realistic.
I don't want realism. I want magic.
Magic?
Yes. Yes, magic. I try to give that to people. I do misrepresent things to them. I don't always tell the truth. I tell what ought to be the truth. But if that's a sin, then let me be damned for it. Don't turn the light on.
I don't mind you being older than what I thought. But all the rest of it, Christ! The pitch about your ideals being so old-fashioned. And the malarkey that you've been dishing out all summer. Oh, I knew you were 16 anymore. But I was fool enough to believe you were straight.
And who told you I wasn't straight? My loving brother-in-law. And you believed him?
No. I called him a liar at first. And then I checked on the story. First, I talked to our supply man who travels through Laurel. And then I talked directly over long distance with this merchant.
Who is this merchant?
Key Faber.
Oh, the merchant Keyfaber of Laurel. I know the man. He whistled at me. I put him in his place, and now for revenge he makes up
Key
stories
Faber,
about
Stanley,
me.
Shaw, sworn to them.
Oh, and I've got 3 men in a tub.
Did
Such
you
a
stay out
filthy
of the
tub.
Flamingo?
Flamingo? No. Tarantula was the name of it. I stayed at a hotel called the Tarantula Arms.
Tarantula arms?
Yes. A big spider. That's where I brought my victims. Yes. I had many intimacies with strangers. After the death of Alan, intimacies with strangers was all I seemed able to fill my empty heart with. I think it was panic. Just panic that drove me from one to another, looking for some protection in the most unlikely places. Even at last, in the 17-year-old boy. But somebody wrote the superintendent. This woman is morally unfit for her position. True. Yes, I suppose. Unfit somehow anyway. So I came here. There was nowhere else I could go. I was played out. Do you know what played out means? My youth was suddenly gone up the water spout, and I met you. You said you needed somebody. Well, I needed somebody too. Oh, I thanked God for you, because you seemed gentle. A cleft in the rock of the world that I could hide in. But I suppose I was asking, hoping too much. Keyfaber, Stanley, and Shaw tied an old tin can to the tail of the kite.
You lied to me, Blanche.
Oh, don't say I lied to you.
Lies. Lies. Inside and out. All lies.
Never inside. I never lied in my heart. Yes, Mother, but couldn't we get a girl to do it? No, of course not. Everything gone, but death. Oh, I would sit here, and she would sit over there, and death was as close as you are. You didn't dare even admit we'd ever heard of it. Death. The opposite is desire. So do you wonder? How could you possibly wonder? Not far from Belle Reve. Before we'd lost Belle Reve, it was a camp where they trained young soldiers. On Saturday nights they'd go into town to get drunk, and on their way home they'd stagger onto my lawn calling Blanche! Blanche! The deaf old lady remained and suspected nothing, but sometimes I slipped out to answer their calls. Later the paddy wagon would gather them up like daisies. The long way home. What do you want?
What I've been missing all summer.
Oh, then marry me, Mitch.
No! You're not clean enough to bring in the house with my mother.
Go away, then. Get out of here quick before I start screaming fire. Get out of here quick before I start screaming fire. Fire! 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 How about taking a swim? A moonlight swim down at the old rock quarry. If anyone's sober enough to drive a car, best way in the world to stop your head buzzing. Only you have to be careful to dive where the deep pool is if you don't come up till tomorrow. Oh my goodness, they're playing Goodnight Ladies. May I rest my weary head on your shoulder? It's so comforting.
Hi, Blanche.
How is my sister?
She's doing okay.
How is the baby?
Baby won't come till morning. They told me to go home and get some shut-eye.
Does that mean we're to be alone in here?
Yep. Just you and me, Blanche. We got those fine feathers on the floor.
That's right. You left before my call came.
You got a call?
A phone call from an old admirer of mine.
Huh. Anything good?
I think so. An invitation.
To what?
A cruise of the Caribbean on a yacht.
Whoa, whoa, what do you know?
I've never been so surprised in my life.
I guess not.
It came like a bolt from the blue.
And, who'd you say this was from again?
An old beau of mine.
Oh, the one who gave you the white fox pieces.
Mr. Shep Huntley.
Mm.
I wore his ATO pin in my last year at college, and I hadn't seen him again until last winter. I ran into him on Biscayne Boulevard, and then just now this phone call inviting me on a cruise of the Caribbean. Only problem is clothes. I tore into my suitcase to see what I have that is suitable for the tropics.
And, you came up with that gorgeous diamond tiara.
Oh, this old relic? It's only rhinestones.
Gosh, I thought it was Tiffany's diamonds.
Well, anyhow, I shall be entertained in style.
Well, just goes to show you, Blanche. You never know what's coming.
Just when I thought my luck had begun to fail me.
Into the picture pops this Miami millionaire.
Well, this man is not from Miami. This man is from Dallas.
This man is from Dallas?
This This man is from Dallas, where gold spouts out of the ground.
Well, guess he's from somewhere.
Oh, please close the curtains before you undress any further.
All I'm gonna undress for now. Say, a bottle opener anywhere? Ah! You know, I once had a cousin who could open up a beer bottle with his teeth. It was all I could do, really. It was his only accomplishment. He was a human bottle opener. And one time, at a wedding, he chipped his front teeth off. After that, he was ashamed of himself. He'd run and hide every time company came. Oh, rain from heaven. What do you say, Blanche? About time we bury the hatchet, make it a loving cup.
No, thank you.
Oh, get with it, Blanche. What I do on every special occasion. The silk pajamas I wore on my wedding night. When I get the call and they say, "You've got a son," oh, I'm gonna wave him in the air like a flag. Guess we're both entitled to put on the dog tonight. You having an oil millionaire, and me having a baby.
When I think of how divine it will be to have such a thing as privacy once more, I could just weep with joy.
Yeah, this millionaire from Dallas isn't gonna interfere with your privacy any?
It won't be anything like what you have in mind. This man is a gentleman and he respects me. What he wants is my companionship. Having great wealth sometimes makes people lonely. A cultivated woman, a woman of intelligence and breeding, can enrich a man's life immeasurably. I have those things to offer and time doesn't take them away. Physical beauty is passing, a transitory possession, but beauty of the mind and richness of the spirit and tenderness of the heart aren't taken away but grow, increase with the years. How strange that I should be called a destitute woman when I have all these treasures locked in my heart. I think of myself as a very, very rich woman. But I have been foolish, casting my pearls before.
Swine, huh?
Swine, yes, swine, and I'm talking not only of you, but of your friend, Mr. Mitchell. He came to see me tonight. Oh, he dared to come here in his work clothes and repeat slander to me. Oh, vicious stories that he'd gotten from you. I gave him his walking papers.
You did, huh?
But then he came back. He came back with a box of roses to beg my forgiveness. He implored my forgiveness. But some things are not forgivable. Deliberate cruelty is not forgivable. It is the one unforgivable thing, and it is the one thing of which I have never been guilty. And so I told him, I said to him, thank you. But I was foolish to think we could have ever adapted ourselves to one another. Our ways of life are too different. Our attitudes and backgrounds are incompatible. We have to be realistic about such things. So farewell, my friend, and let there be no hard feelings.
Yeah. So,
that before or after the phone call came from Texas?
What phone call? Oh, it was after. As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact, there was no phone call at all.
Oh.
There isn't no millionaire. And, Mitch didn't come back here with no roses because I know where he is.
Oh. Oh.
There's nothing here but imagination and lies and conceit and, tricks. And just look at you. Just what are you wearing? Some worn out Mardi Gras outfit? You rented for what? 50 cents from some rag picker? Oh, and with that crazy crown on? What kind of a queen do you think you are?
Oh, God.
I've been on to you from the start, Glenn. Not once did you pull the wool over this boy's eyes. You come in here and you sprinkle powder, spray perfume, cover the light bulb with a paper lantern. And lo and behold, it's Egypt. You're queen of the Nile. Sitting on your throne and sucking down my liquor? You know what I said? Ha ha! Hear me? Ha ha ha! Hey, where do you think you're going? This ain't no one-way street, it's a two-way street. I've been fighting these streets all night. I'll show you what's fair. Come here, give me a little. Oh! Where'd you go?
Please, John, understand. Please. Hello, please, I need to talk to Mr. Shepherdly. Could you give him a message? Tell him I'm in desperate circumstances. Help me, I'm caught in a trap.
Hey, left the phone off there.
Let me out. Let me get by you.
Get by me? Sure, go ahead.
You stand over there.
Any room to get by me now?
Not with you there, but we gotta get out somehow.
Do you think I interfere with you? Come to think of it, you might not be so bad to interfere with.
Stay back. Don't come toward me another step or something awful will happen. It will.
What are you putting on now?
Oh, one you don't. Oh, I'm in danger.
What are you gonna do with that?
I'll smash you over the head with it.
Oh, I bet you would.
I will.
Oh, okay. You want some roughhouse? Yeah, all right. Let's have some roughhouse. Okay.
prefer to stay with each other from the beginning.
Drew to an inside straight, by God!
Maldita sea tu suerto!
Put it in English, greaseball.
I'm cursing your rotting luck.
Hey, you know what luck is? Luck is believing you're lucky. Hey, take it Fallujah. I thought that 4 out of 5 wouldn't make it out, but I would, and I did. I put that down as a rule. You want to take a front position in this rat race? You gotta believe you're lucky.
You. Brant. Bull.
What's the matter with him?
I always did say that men were callous things with no feelings, but this does beat anything. Making pigs of yourselves.
What's the matter with her? Hey, deal the cards.
How's my baby? Is he demanding his supper?
Sleeping like a little angel. Brought you some grapes.
Bless him. I just ate when we're not in the same room together.
Well, you better leave him right there till you know what gets settled. Where is she?
Bathing.
How is she?
She wouldn't eat anything. She asked for a drink.
What'd you tell her?
I told her we made arrangements for her to rest in the country. She's got it mixed up in her mind with Chef Hunter.
Stella,
Yes, Blanche?
if anybody calls while I'm bathing, take the number and tell them I'll call right back.
Yes, Blanche?
And Stella, this is the cool yellow silk, the roll silk. See if it's crushed. If it's not too crushed, I'll wear it. And on the lapel, that silver and turquoise pin in the shape of a seahorse. You'll find them in the box where I keep my accessories. Oh, and Stella, and see if you can locate that artificial bunch of violets in the box too, to fit with the seahorse on the lapel of the jacket.
Just don't know if I did the right thing.
What else could you do?
I couldn't believe her story and go on living with Stanley.
Don't you ever believe it. You gotta keep on going, honey. No matter what happens. We all gotta keep on going.
Stella, is the coast clear?
Yes, Blanche. Tell her she's looking wonderful.
Please close the curtains before I come out.
They're closed.
Mitch.
I've just washed my hair.
Did you?
I'm not sure I got all the soap out.
Such fine hair.
It's a problem. Didn't I get a call?
Who from, Blanche?
Chef Huntley.
Why? Not yet, honey.
How strange.
Hey, Mitch! Come to!
What's happened here? I want an explanation of what's going on here.
Hush, honey, hush.
Please, Blanche.
Why are you two looking at me like that? Is there something wrong with me?
You look wonderful, Blanche. Don't she look wonderful?
Yes.
I hear you're going on a little trip.
Yes. Blanche is taking a vacation.
Well, I am just green with envy.
Oh, help me, you two. Help me get dressed.
Is this what you want?
It'll do. I'm anxious to get out of here. This place is a trap.
Such a pretty blue jacket.
It's lilac colored.
Oh, I'm colorblind as a bat.
Are these grapes washed?
Huh?
Washed? I said, are they washed?
Why, they're from the French market.
That doesn't mean they're washed. These cathedral bells are the only clean thing in the quarter. I will be going now. I'm ready to go.
But she's gonna walk out before we get here.
Wait, Blanche.
I don't want to pass in front of those men.
Then wait till the game breaks up.
Yes. Just sit down and
I can smell the sea air. My element is the earth. But it should have been the water. Water. The days I'm going to spend on the sea. And when I die, I shall die on the sea. And do you know what I shall die of? I shall die of eating an unwashed grape. One day, out on the ocean, I will die. With my hand in the hand of a nice-looking ship's doctor. A very young one, with a blonde mustache and a big silver watch. Poor lady, they'll say, the quinine did her no good. That unwashed grape has transported her soul to heaven. And I shall be buried at sea, sewn up in a clean white sack and dropped overboard at noon in the blaze of summer and into an ocean as blue as the blue of my first lover's eyes.
That must be them.
Actually, I'm gonna
Yes.
pull.
What is it?
Excuse me while I go and see who's at the door.
I wonder if it's for me.
Someone is calling for Blanche.
It is for me then. Isn't that gentleman I was expecting from Dallas?
I think it is, Blanche.
I'm not quite ready yet.
Let's ask him to wait outside. All packed.
My silver toilet articles are still out.
They're waiting in front of the house.
Hey, who's they?
There's a lady with him.
I wonder who this lady could be. How is she dressed?
Just a sort of plain tailored outfit.
Possibly she's.
Oh, shall we go?
Yes. Must we go through that room?
I'll go with you.
How do I look?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Please don't get up. I'm only passing through. You are not the gentleman I was expecting.
That man is in Chamonix.
Did you forget something, Blanche?
Yes, I forgot something.
Hello, Blanche.
Says she forgot something.
That's all right.
What'd you forget, Blanche?
It don't matter. We can pick it up later.
No, we'll send it back with the suitcase.
I don't know you. I don't know you. I would like to be left alone, please.
Now, Blanche.
Now, Blanche, you left nothing here but spilt talcum and some old empty perfume bottles. Unless it's the paper lantern you want.
Oh, God, goodness. Help me. What are they going to do to her?
Paper
What are
lantern.
they going to do to her?
Doctor!
No,
Get in here.
Don't go back in there. Stay here with me and don't look.
Oh, what have I done to my sister? Oh, God, Eunice, what have I done to my sister?
You done the right thing. The only thing you could do. She couldn't stay here.
You-
There was no other place for her to
You
go.
done this! All you goddamn running with things, you!
These fingernails will help you trim. Check it, doctor?
Not unless necessary. Miss Dubois, please. It won't be necessary. Ask her to let go of me. Yes. Let go. Whoever you are, I have always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Blanche? Blanche? Blanche?
Noah!
Alright, boys. This game is 7 cards stud.